I'm so excited because when I first heard her speak, I was in awe. Her testimony, her story is just so inspiring, so amazing. And I just really wanted to see her come and just share her testimony, her story, and her expertise with this audience. And so today we are very blessed to be able to have Dr. Michele Hoskins of Michele Foods. It is a nationally known brand, and in Maryville, you can actually get it at your local Target, Strack and Van Til, and also Meyer. And she's going to tell you a little bit more about that. But everybody, please give a warm welcome to Dr. Michele Hoskins. Woo! Now, guys, get your pens and paper ready or your phone for notes because she's going to drop some nuggets. Here we go, Dr. Michele Hoskins.
Good morning. Good morning. So you know what? God always puts you at the right place where you're supposed to be. So I'm here for the entrepreneurs in the house. I am an entrepreneur. I have a product on the market. It's been on the market 38 years. I'm in every major retail chain in the country, from Kroger, Safeway, Albertsons. We've been in juice 38 years. I make syrup. I make a product called Michelle's Honey Cream, Butter Pecan, and Maple Cream Syrups. And I started my company 38 years ago. I was a young girl at the time, still a young girl, but a young girl at the time, raising three small children, three small little girls. And I had read that the 80s was a decade of the woman, that women were going to emerge as CEOs and executives of companies. And I wanted to be part of that movement. So I was a school teacher, and I asked God, I prayed, I said, God, where is this direction? How can I become the CEO of a company? And I thought, do I go back to school? I said, nah. Do I go work for a company? I said, no. I said, why don't I start my own company? At the time, my great grandmother, American Washington, had passed a recipe down through three generations of girls. And I decided at that point to put that product on the market. Instead of giving my daughters a recipe, I thought I would give them a business. And I started Michelle's Foods in 1984 in my mom's basement. So people wonder, well, how did you just start a company? Food is a very interesting product to put on the market. It has to be formulated and put in a situation where people can buy it and it can have a shelf life. But let me begin from the beginning. When my mother gave me this recipe, I did not know at all how to put it on the market. I had no idea how to put syrup off a stove into a bottle and put it on in 10,000 stores that we're in now. So I made it at home on the stove, and I took it around to restaurants, and they asked me to come back and get it because it wasn't right. It was separating, and so I came back, and normally people would give up at that point, but I was very determined because I saw the vision. And when I speak, I try to tell people the steps are not so much the actual steps, but the spiritual steps that you are given. So God had given me this blessing, had given me this company, and I just had to figure out the metrics to it. I already had the vision. I already knew that one day I would be this company that I am now, this multi-million dollar company. But at the time, I knew there were certain steps I had to go through. So I had to put myself in a position to learn those steps. And the first thing I learned that I needed to formulate that product. That product needed to be formulated with a consistency that would, if I had on one store 10,000 stores, it would be the same. So I learned how to do that. I figured out how to formulate it. And once it was formulated, I was at my mind. What I did was, once I decided to do this business, I sold everything that I owned, everything, and moved back home to my mom's basement to start this company. Me and my three daughters would have the product, a formulated product, brought to my mom's basement. We would hand pack it, put it in a bottle, and take it around to local retail stores. And I would go into the local retail stores and I would tell them if they sold it, I would invoice them. And if they didn't, I would come back and get it. So what I did, I bought it myself. I would go in, I would have a hat on, I would have glasses on, and I started, this is really moving. Well, I was rotating product. I was being very creative. And after I did that for about 2 or 3 months, I decided to really become serious. So I went to Jules food stores in Melrose Park. I walked in, and the reception said, they're hiring upstairs. So I said, I'm not here for a job. I'm here to see a buyer. She said, well, first of all, what are you selling? I said, I'm selling Michele syrup. Well, who are you? I said, I'm Michele. What's the name of the company? Michele Foods. And I sat in the corner for about 2 or 3 hours, and I watched these salespeople come in with these big bags, and I saw the sales guy, and I saw the activity. And I'm just sitting there like a fish out of water. But then I walked into the buyer's office, and he had said, wow, I've never seen a black woman coming to corporate jewels to sell anything. He said, you know what? He said, if my grandson likes this product, I might put it on the shelf. I went home and prayed. God, let this little boy like this syrup. They called me back, and he said, you know what? I'm going to give you all Jewel food stores. So 6 months after business, I had every Jewel food store in Chicago and suburbs, and we're still on the shelf. 38 years, we're still there. So from there, I said, okay, this sounds like a little, let me try something else. So then I went to, at the time, they had a Dominick's. I don't know if you all remember Dominick's. They had a Dominick's. I went to Dominick's. They put us on Dominick's shelf. And I stayed on Dominick's shelf, and I worked that business. And working the business, when you have a business, the first thing several things you do, but one thing you need to really understand and do is to make sure you understand your cost, your margins, what it costs for transportation, and you also have to consider yourself as a salaried person and fixed bills. So sometimes, we buy things or we make things and we just make them and we sell them and we think we're making a profit. I'm gonna get to that a little later, but let me finish this journey. So from Chicago, I called, so this is something interesting happened. So my daughters and I have 3 daughters. We used to always pray, girl, one day you're gonna be on Oprah Winfrey Show. Well, prior to Michele Foods, I was a makeup artist at Marshall Fields. At the time, it was Macy's now. And Oprah was not syndicated. She came in the store. And I said, girl, I'm going to be on your show one day. So fast forward, I'm in my office, and it's April Fool's Day, and the phone rings, Harpo Studio. So I didn't fall for it because I said, my daughters are playing an April Fool's joke. I said, I'm not going to pick up the phone. But I did eventually pick it up. It was Oprah's office, and she was having a show called A Millionaire Minute. That meant that she wanted to talk to women that had made their first million. And so she invited me to her show, and I went on her show, and we talked. And I don't know if anyone ever saw it, but a lot of times when I speak, people have seen the show. And it was interesting because she allowed me to tell my little story. So from there, that helped me because I was trying to get in Walmart. So I called Walmart. I said, I'm getting ready to do the Oprah Winfrey Show. They said, oh, we got to put you in every Walmart. So now I'm in every Walmart. So from there, I kind of got like, I'm kind of doing good here. So then I decided that I want to do food service. Now, I don't know how many of you all are familiar with food service. The food service is like restaurants and things like that. I had read that Denny's was in trouble. And I called Dennis every Monday, Perseverance, every Monday morning at 10:30 for 2 years. And finally, when they changed CEOs, they said, let me tell you, it's a woman. The call said every Monday morning at 10:30. So Jim Anderson said, well, what does she want to do? Well, she wants to make syrup. Well, he said, well, we're the worst person for diversity because that's when they had this big diversity problem. And call up. Got a $3 million contract with Denny's. $3 million, and that came from perseverance. I didn't have a plant, I didn't have no way to make it, but I figured out how to do it. And how I figured out how to do it was I contracted a co-packer that made syrup. I bought it for them for $9. I bought it for them $8 and sold it to Dennis for $9. And I made $300,000 for 7 years. Just because I used perseverance, I figured it out, and I knew there was a problem and I needed to solve it. I solved that problem for Denny's. I was in their book, I became their national spokesperson, and I sold a lot of syrup. So let me see what happened then. From then, because the first lesson I was telling you about is the vision, to make sure that when God drops his vision into your spirit, you follow it. You do not because I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna be deterred. Something like when I first did it, I didn't have a formulated product. I figured it out. All the figurations are here for you if you apply that with your faith. The faith is the part that's going to take you wherever you want to go. The knowledge is what's going to help you develop what you need to take. Okay? So now I get this, I'm doing Denny's, okay? I'm in Walmart, I'm in Jew's, I'm in Dominic's, and I go to Kroger, I get in Kroger, then I go to Safeway. And so I start this journey because my vision was to be in every major retail chain in the country. That is what, when I sat at that table and decided to become an entrepreneur and have a product, I decided then that I wanted to be everywhere. And that was what I put in my journal, and that is where I was going. Now, I don't know how many people out here journal, but I'm gonna tell you how to journal. A lot of people come in at the end of the day and write what their day was, right? No, that's the wrong way to journal. You get up in the morning and you plan your day. You say, this is what I want my day to look like. I want a smooth ride out to Maryville. I want to put me on some nice jazz. I want to listen to jazz. And I drove out here. I want to come in. I wanted to make sure, because I'm like this. I speak all over the world, right? If I speak to one person or 10,000 people, somebody's in this audience that God has sent me here to talk to. So I'm not worried about the crowd, because the people that are supposed to hear what I say showed up for it. Now, it's going to be other speakers. Maybe they need to hear what they say. But my morning speaking is for you. And as entrepreneurs here, and that's what I like, because everybody has a dream. And I don't believe in working for other people. Because when you work for other people, you are defined by that job. They tell you what time to get up, what time to show up, what time to take a lunch break, what time to get off, when you can have a vacation, when you can be sick. And God did not design our lives for that. So I think anybody, and that's why I always, people say, well, I'm sowing a seed today, because people say, well, Michele, like I said, I do a lot of speaking and I speak for a lot of people. But I want people to know that hear me is that anything the mind can conceive can manifest through hard work, perseverance, and faith. Those are three things that you need. The faith comes first. You tell God what you want. This is what I want people to understand about me. I'm a young girl from Southside Chicago 38 years ago, okay? 3 small babies going through a divorce. On welfare. I'm on welfare. I'm saying the welfare line, and I'm saying to myself, and I'm a CEO in this welfare line. I'm not no welfare person. I'm a CEO. This is what I have to go through. God said, go through this, understand this. So when I put this vision out, I made a multi-million-dollar company out of 3 ingredients: honey, butter, and cream. That's what my recipe was: honey, butter, and cream. And I stand here now with you with a multi-million-dollar company with products all over everywhere out of 3 ingredients. So it wasn't the 3 ingredients that made me this multi-millionaire. It was the vision, the hard work, and the perseverance that made me this millionaire. It wasn't those 3 ingredients. It wasn't a recipe on a little piece of paper that my great-great-grandmother handed to me as a slave through 4 generations of girls that made me who I am. It was hard work, perseverance, and faith. Okay? And then when you put that, and then back to the journal. So I get up in the morning and I write my day. I write it. I don't let my day work for me. This is what I want. I want a healthy day. I want to eat right. Remind me to drink a lot of water. Let me park my car somewhere where I can walk that extra mile. Let me be people that I want to be and determine what keep me safe. Let me feel comfortable wearing my stuff. Tell me where I'm supposed to be and make sure that I'm covered. And I walk out the door. At the end of the day, I come back and I say, thank you, God, for the day that I planned you gave me. And I turn the page. That's it. Don't get hung up in this, I'm home and I had a bad day and all that. You've already had that day. And the reason why you had it, because you allowed it to happen to you. You allowed that to happen. You allowed that day to engulf you in a situation that you weren't prepared for because you didn't know it was coming. But when you prepare yourself, you know what's coming. You know this is going to be a nice ride because you planned for it. And you know if someone speeds past you, that's okay. Because that's them. You over here. So I'm off of that part. But now, the first part, like I said, when I decided to do this, I didn't have any money. I didn't have anything. But money is a means of exchange. This is what I say about money. Can I get my water, please? Oh, here it is, okay. This is what I say about money. Money is paper. Money is an illusion. Money is an illusion. The richest man in the world, his money is an illusion. Kanye's money is an illusion. It's built upon a situation where people feel like you have done enough or you've attracted enough people to build a wealth that we can let you afford to live a lifestyle that you've created because you have this following of people. You understand what I'm saying? So you can't get hung up on the dollar bill because you can't get hung up what's in the bank. Because you could have $10,000 in the bank and I could have $10 in the bank. Okay, we're walking together. Who knows that? Who knows that? Okay? So you got to think about it as it's not what you're working for. You're working for a successful, healthy life that's going to provide you a lifestyle that you've created through your faith, your perseverance, and your belief. That's what you're working towards. You're working towards coming up with a situation that you're going to be able to put yourself in, that you're going to be able to grow or manifest something that's going to provide you a good lifestyle. So when I put one bottle on the shelf 38 years ago, I knew I was going to have 10,000 stores 38 years in the future and going to have more in 2 or 3 more years. Okay, and so I try to let people understand that you see me now as a successful businesswoman, but I wasn't that. I didn't start off with that. I started off with a young girl trying to figure out how to take care of 3 little girls and how to get off of welfare and how to build a life for me. I started off selling everything I owned because it was materialistic. I looked at my stuff, I said, now in 5 years, what is this going to be worth? What is this table and this lamp? I sold it all. Moved back home in my mom's attic, and my only recreation was skating. I skated every Wednesday, every Sunday. That's all I did, and I worked. And I worked on my business, not in my business. See, a lot of us, entrepreneurs, work in your business and not on it. It's a difference. It's a difference. I'll tell you why. Here, just imagine, I got stores, I got probably 10,000 stores, Myers, Target, everywhere. I'm selling product right now. Somebody got some honey cream, maple cream, butter pecan in their cart right now going through the aisle. Because the reason why I know it, because I got the purchase orders to prove it. And I'm standing here talking to you all. So I'm making money while I'm sleeping, and that's the key. So when you work in your business, you are not making money. You're working. When you develop a plan and figure out how to make your business work for you, when you figure that out, then you're making money while you're sleeping. The only way you're going to ever be wealthy in this world is to make money while you are sleeping. Everybody, every person that you know, from Kanye to Beyonce, anybody with money has a brand. You have to develop a brand. So people say, okay, I'm selling stuff. Everybody sells stuff, but everybody don't have a brand. So the brand is what you develop, and you umbrella all your stuff under the brand, and the brand grows. Because I had one honey cream, now I got butter pecan, maple cream, I do food service. And I also teach this entrepreneur program that I have learned through the School of Hard Knocks on how to do this stuff. So you build a brand. So people say, okay, right, now, the brand is the name you name your company. That's your company, that's your brand. You develop a business plan in order to make this brand national, universal, local, whatever. You do not get up in the morning and work on your company by yourself without a plan. The plan is, how do I grow my business? How do I incorporate people in my business that I can teach to do what I'm doing so I could develop the company? I don't invoice people. I don't make syrup. I don't bottle syrup. I don't label syrup. I don't pack syrup. I don't transport syrup. I run Michele Foods, and I have people that do that for me to make sure my company, my product is where it's going. And I hire people and teach them how to do that, and they grow with me. And I started with my family. My daughters work for me. Hey, y'all working for me. And that's what and right now I have one that is my controller. The other two went on and became entrepreneurs. So you work on your brand. So if you're selling something again, I'm selling syrup. But you don't see no bottles of syrup with me. You don't see me, standing. No. My syrup, you want to buy my syrup? It's in Target, Jewels. I worked on that company to get them to a place that other people can buy them. I'm working on my business, not in it. I worked in it when I was taking it to the stores out my car. But how can I take product to 10,000 stores? That was my vision, 10,000 stores. So in order for me to do that, I had to come up with a business plan. I had to work that plan. See, what we don't do as entrepreneurs, we don't understand the business of being an entrepreneur. We think that we can just sell something and go home and make some money. Now, I have people that I mentor, right? And the first thing I teach them is, how do you start a business? You come up with the idea and you make a business plan and you write it down. Because this building here could not have ever been built if it wasn't a blueprint. It was a vision, then it became a blueprint. And do you think the person that visualized this made this? The people that have businesses that could come in and contribute to what this needed to be, the floor people, the steel people, all of these people that had businesses was hired to make this business. Because they developed a business that they could utilize within the constraints of what they wanted to do. So you have to really think about and study business people. There's a book I call The Wealth Plan. I'm in there. You have to study people like Kanye and Beyonce, people that we know, or anywhere, fashion fair, people that actually have products. And when you get a product, you look at it and try to figure out, it all started somewhere. And when I started my company, I had enough sense to know that I could not deliver 10,000 to 10,000 stores. So either I'm gonna be limited and only deliver to 4 or 5 and be happy and go get me a job, or I'm gonna understand business and become a CEO of a company that delivers syrup to 10,000 stores nationwide. And that's what you do as a business owner. You figure out, how do I develop my brand, whatever it is, whatever you name your company, how do I develop this brand to be able to make it multiply? And not only as it multiplies, God, let me bring people along that will also benefit from my growth, so I can make this into a bigger entity where I can come home at night and count my money instead of count my problems. And that's what being an entrepreneur is. An entrepreneur is a person with a vision. You got to work on it. That if you don't write nothing else down, you work on your business, not in it. The average person, like I had people come to me, and like I said, I've mentored a lot of people. I mentored a girl who was on Shark Tank. Her name was Carol Foster. She does a gumbo brick. I don't know if you all ever saw her. I just mentored Tom Joyner's wife, Donna Joyner. She's in Target. She has a honey chicken and waffle bits. And when they come to me and we start talking, I explain to them, okay, if you're doing a food product, where is she? Food product. Okay, if you're doing a food product, your product has to be formulated. Now, let me give you an example. This might not be you, but an example of the average person that makes something, clothes, food, anything, okay? They do it. Like you might, you go, let me just give you an example, okay, you mind? You go get your samples, right? You get your bottles, your caps, and you mix it up at home. You mix it up at home, and you sell it, right? Do you consider the transportation costs? Would it cost you in gas to go to the store and come home? Do you consider your labor, how much you should be getting paid for it? You're not making any money because what you're doing is and then this is something else you're doing. Okay, let me explain this about food. Whenever you go to a store and buy anything, it's the end result of everybody's effort. So if you go to the store and buy Michele syrup and put it in a cake, then you are buying all my margins, everything I put into it, my profit, everything. You see what I'm saying? You have to start back to where McCormick buys their seasoning. You have to buy your stuff at the raw ingredient, but you also have to have it formulated. So there's a consistency. You're not formulating, you're just mixing. You got to learn to once you learn how to formulate and mix and take that problem and give it to a co-packer, you're working on your business. Okay? Once you learn, the beautiful Coke lady over here, once you learn how to take the things that you have, an umbrella under some type of brick and mortar or somewhere where people can come to you, you can advertise and work on your marketing, you will start making money. You cannot make money if you have not put a product in a position for the mass of people to buy, and there's a consistency there. You know, when you go to McDonald's, it's everything McDonald's has is formulated. The French fries, even the grease, everything is systematic. And when you buy McDonald's in Chicago, it tastes the same as you buy it in California. So I'm telling the entrepreneurs that you have a good vision, but as long as you work in your business, you're never going to grow it because you cannot grow a business if you're working in it. You have to work on it, and working on it is getting me a business plan. I mean, a serious business plan, understand where I'm going. You got to understand your cost. Like with me, I understand exactly how much everything I put in my product costs. My bottle, my label, my formula, my ingredients, my everything. I understand what it costs to make it. I understand what it costs to put it in a corrugated box. I understand what it needs to be shipped. I understand what I need to sell it to Kroger for. And I understand my margins and my profit. So in order for me to make $2 million a year, I got to sell X amount of product. But you can't do it if you in the trenches. You got to be looking at your business and say, oh, wow, I need to move X. I know that I need to move at least 2 units a week out of my 10,000 stores to make $3 million. I understand that. So if I understand that, then what do I need to do? Market. I need to tell people that it's on a shelf somewhere. And then once I do that, now let me duplicate that. Okay, so I'm doing that in Jewel's. What about if I do it in Target? What if I do it in Kroger? So that's what I do. So I work on getting clients. And my customers are not people. My customers are retailers that sell to people. They sell to people. It's 1 million people that come through a supermarket a week. All I need is one a day. One person. And in order for me to get that one person, I got to be on the shelf. How did I get on the shelf? I designed a business plan and understood what it took for me to get to this position. I need to understand my margins. With your spices, you need to know how much a cap costs, a bottle costs, and then you got to sit and say, well, okay, if I buy in volume, you have to think bigger. And as Afro-Americans, honestly, we have not been taught. We have not been taught this. We feel like we want to be independent. We don't work for anybody. So, let me get this and sell that. But what about selling to everybody? What about your customer base be 10,000 people? I mean, and so you have to kind of figure that out. And you figure that out with God's plan, but you also figure it out with a business plan. How many people in here have done a business plan? Okay, so the business plan was to do what? Was to get to retail stores? Was to get to more people? Now, see, when I started out, we didn't have no internet and no Facebook and all that. We didn't have none of that. We had things like the Oprah Winfrey Show, and I did Donnie Doyle's show, and I did CBS and all that. But this is what I also was marketing, guys. I wasn't marketing my syrup, I was marketing my story, which led them to the syrup. Because I had developed a story also. So your business that you have now, you're developing a story. This is a story. You're out here now, you're in, in this beautiful building and you're doing a pop-up. But that shouldn't be the end of the story. That should be the introduction to the story. Now I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna figure out my business plan. So the next time I do this, guess what? I'm in 10 pop-ups and I'm walking around talking to the people that's working for me to see how you doing. That's what I'm talking about. So I could be a little clear. You're sitting here with your business. The business plan should say, I want to be in 10 pop-ups a week or a month, and I want people that are working for me to be selling my stuff, and I'm just coming in and checking on them. So they doing what you're doing, because if you sitting here, you ain't making no money over there. But if you got a person sitting here, sitting there, and you get out your car and you come and say, how you doing? How we making it? Paying them a salary, then you have a business that you're starting. You can't do it. You can't work in I'm telling you, I'm selling guys. Just imagine me working in Michele Foods. I'm somewhere trying to fill 10,000 bottles. That wasn't the way it worked. I had to come up with the formulation. I had to package the product. I had to brand the product, and I had to sell it to somebody that could sell it for me. And then I had to duplicate that in 10,000 stores. And when I go to bed at night, I'm making money because I'm getting a purchase order in the morning from a Kroger or a Target. And it's not a small purchase order. It's a $10, $15, $20, $30 purchase order. I don't mind telling about it. I did $500,000 in Target last year, and I had been in the store 9 months. Because it was on the shelf, and I had developed a brand that people knew about. And if you don't know about it, if you see me, you're going to know about it. Because I walk around with a big Michele syrup jacket on. And when I go in the stores, I'm selling the syrup aisle, and I'm going to stop anybody walking by, and I'm going to tell them who I am. And I don't have no shame in my game about that, because I could walk out the store and say, I done sold 5 bottles. But it's there for someone to buy it. Now, if it wasn't there, I wouldn't be there. So what I'm saying to you, entrepreneurs, start your business plan. And if you have a great idea, great product, great jewelry, great clothes, you got to figure out how to get people to sell it for you or put it in a store. Put your designs in the store. I don't care if you are buying from somebody else. You can go to, I'm telling you, that's the only way. You have to. If you don't understand making money while you're sleeping, read some books. Read Think and Grow Rich. Making money while I'm sleeping. Every multimillionaire out here is not working. They on yachts. They flying around. They having fun because they have figured out a way to brand themselves or a product that they can sell to the masses. And that's what you have to do. So this is great, the pop-up shop, but if you work on your business and you have 4 or 5 or 6 or 8 or 10, I haven't many you want to say, then and that idea is going to take you somewhere else. It's going to take you where you're really supposed to be. See, just because you say, well, okay, I'm selling beautiful coats and stuff like that, that's great. But if you don't sell none, they ain't going to get sold. But if while you're sitting there, you had a girl in Atlanta at the Black Women's Expo selling it, because the Black Women's Expo is in Atlanta now, or if you were somewhere had your stuff in Vegas, you know what I'm saying, and you have a people, then you are making money. And your business is going to grow from that. I want to take some questions. I really do. Anybody want to ask me some questions? Because I could talk all day long by myself. One thing I've learned, let me say this one thing. One thing I learned the last time I spoke for Pastor Winston is that I have a new assignment. It's not talking about me, it's talking about y'all. So anybody want to ask me some questions? I'm through talking about Michele. You can ask me some questions. Okay.
Hello, how you doing? My name is Anthony Jarrett, and I sell cookies. I have a brand that I'm starting called AJ's Cookies.
You say I can't hardly hear you.
I have a brand that I've been doing, and it's called AJ's Cookies.
Uh-huh.
I was listening to you. You spoken at my church, Living Word Christian Center with Bill Winston. My question is, when you were talking about your syrup and you had to formulate it, my thing is, because right now I do everything at home. And I've developed up to about 15 cookies. And my biggest question as I was listening to you was formulating that when it's something that you have to make at home and bake and let it cool and package. How do
Stop. I'm gonna tell you how to do it. See, you're thinking about, okay, so cookie.
I'm working on it.
You got a cookie. Okay, you got a cookie. And you're at home making your cookies. And you gotta make them, you gotta go get the ingredients, you gotta measure the ingredients, you gotta bake them, you gotta package them, and you gotta take them somewhere. Okay, now, say for instance you wanted that cookie to be in McDonald's. How would you do that? You couldn't do it. Your cookie has to be formulated. You have to take those ingredients that you make and you have to take it to a chemist and have it formulated. A formulation. A formulation is a piece of paper that has metrics on it and it has measurements on it that only a co-packer can make in volume. Okay? Once you formulate that product, then it's going to become cheaper. Because they're going to be able to buy raw ingredients that you could never buy in massive. It's almost like the Oreo cookie. The Oreo cookie, you think someone's baking an Oreo cookie at home? The Oreo cookie is formulated. A co-packer takes it and makes lots of it, and you brand it, and then you go to a retail store at Jewel's and sell it. What you're making at home is not yours. You don't own the flour and the chocolate and all that. Nestle owns that. Okay, so you're buying something. Listen, I want you to write, but listen, I want you to look at me. What you're buying is you're buying a product that has already been formulated and has all the cost in it. So when you buy it, you buying all the costs that they have. So if you buy, say, flour for $2, it might have cost the flour people 25 cents. So you about all of their costs, and you putting in cookies, and you can't make no money. So you take back out of all that. If you want to take my, because you look emotional. If you want to take my course, I'm gonna give you my number. You back out of all of that, and then you get it formulated and take it to a cookie maker and let them make it for you. You package it, put your brand on it, and then you go to Jewel's and ask, can you sell it in Jewel's store? Your brand is what you're selling. Because the cookie, you can't sell that cookie. That's not your stuff. You know, it's like someone trying to bake a turkey and sell it. That ain't your turkey. You know, what you have is the passion and the idea and the brand, your name that you put on there. Because the ingredients are not yours. We don't own nothing. This is God's stuff. We don't own none of this. But when you formulate it, it becomes yours that you can actually take it somewhere. Okay? You making me, I want to talk to you. Okay, anybody's got any questions?
Hi. My question was when you were talking about your profit margin and understanding those numbers, is it something that do you have a professional that, you know, that you worked with to do that, or is it something that you were able to sit down yourself and do it?
If you sit down and knit a blanket, you're going to know where every stitch went. When you start your own company, you're going to learn this. So this is what I had to learn. I was making a product out of honey, butter, and cream. Carnation milk, butter, and cream. That wasn't it. That wasn't my business. My business was developing a brand to make honey cream syrup made out of cream flavoring, butter buds, all the things that went to make this syrup that don't taste like nothing I make at home. What I make at home is not what's on the shelf. I formulated that and I branded that. and I sold it to a retailer to put it on the shelf, and I told people to go get it. And as it grew, it grew, it grew. I got more stores, but the margins come in like this. When you formulate the product and go to a co-packer, he's going to tell you this is what the raw ingredients cost. It might be I'm going to give you an example. Say it's $1 to make whatever you want to make. Say for you it's a quarter to make a cookie. And he puts 24 cookies in a box. And say the box is, I'm not good at math, say the box is $10 with all these cookies in them. No, let's say like $5 a box. That's your cost. Now, when you sell it to somebody for $10, that's your margin, that's your profit. Then that $5, everything out that $5 is what you have to spend with. So in order for me to make, say if I want to make, say for instance, I want to make, so I don't know, I can't make myself an example. But what I'm saying is that when you formulate something, it comes the lowest cost. Like if you formulate your products, you are starting where McCormick started. McCormick started, say, at 25 cents a bottle. They sell it to Jews for 50 cents a bottle. Jews sell it to us for 75 cents a bottle. You make your 50 cent, store make their 50 cent, or whatever it is, and that's it. The final part at the grocery store is the margin for the retailer. Now the retailer is only in the brick and mortar part. Retailers don't sell product, they sell rent. They lease out their shelf space for us to put product on it. The good thing about black folks is we don't pay for that. We don't have to pay for sliding charges, so you're already good. You ain't paying that $100. You can get on the shelf real easy. If you're a black man, a black woman with a good product, you can go to a store and they're going to give you a chance. They're going to give you a chance because I done been to too many people that's on the shelf right now that got them, okay? So once that's formulated, it's no longer, you're not in the kitchen anymore. You in your back room working on your business. You working on co-packer, how much does it cost me a case? $12 a case. Okay, here's your $12. Okay, let me give me my case of product. Let me take it over to the store. It's costing you $15. Give me my $3 profit. Let me go back home and work on some more business. Or maybe I go get another store. You see what I'm saying? Once you take that product out of your life and let someone else make it, then you're in the business of selling it. Now you're working on your business and not in it. You're not gonna make no money working in it because you're not even paying yourself. What you paying yourself? And if you're paying yourself, what's the gas costing? What's the gas costing? That's what I'm saying about working on it and not in it. And everybody out here, I don't care if you're selling an earring, if you're selling anything, you gotta be, if you're in the earring business, it should be Michelle's earring business. And how can I sell in volume? And where do I sell my business to? And how do I profit off of that? That's how you have, and once you do a business plan and start working on that, it's gonna come to you. You understand what I'm saying? Your product has to be formulated. And how you formulate it is you take your recipe and make it specific and give it to someone that's gonna make it for you, that's gonna taste like your cook. Any other questions?
Hi, yes. My name is Jennifer Maybine, and I understood everything that you were saying today. So I'm trying to get my product in the store as well. So I'm thinking that to just like get a co-packer there, I didn't know to get it formulated. So the first thing to do is to get it formulated first, then go to a co-packer there?
Yeah. It's a lot. Okay. So you have to get it formulated because a co-packer is not going to work off your recipe. It's a little dash of this and a pinch of that. You have to go to a chemist or a co-packer that you take your recipe to with a non-disclosure agreement attached to it. And they're going to look and say, okay, so you use X amount of more than salt. You do X amount of pepper. They're going to formulate that product where at the end of the day, you own it. It's yours. You understand what I'm saying? So if they use a pepper, it's going to be the same pepper that McCormick used, because you're stepping back to the line where everybody else steps on. I'm gonna give you a real quick example. Carton of eggs. Okay, real quick. The carton of eggs, the egg starts at the farmer that's got the chickens. So the chicken lays the egg, and then say the egg is a penny. The next person comes in to pasteurize the egg, pays 2 cents. Okay, then they pasteurize the egg and they put it on a truck to take it to a plant that's going to clean it and put it in a carton. They pay 7 cents. Okay, this is the egg. Finally, it gets to Eggland Best, who is this huge company that has the brand to sell it, and they pay 10 cents. Okay, so then by the time it's on the carton of egg is $1. They come to Jules on their truck, and they sell Jules all these eggs for $2. Then they sell it to us for $3. They making $2 off of every carton. And we paying the very end result. But the farmer has to get the egg, da. So formulation, that's where the formulation starts. It starts there. Any more questions?
How do you go about finding a chemist?
Girl, you can Google chemists. I couldn't Google no chemist. But see, there's a lot more to it too. But you get a chemist, but then you have to, I want you to also understand the business side of it, because it's the business side of it too. So, but you get a chemist, and then you get the chemist, and then you know, because see, when you put something in the retail market, there's 2 things y'all doing wrong. I'll tell y'all right now. Anybody here making food, I'm tell you what you do, what you need to stop. Everybody has to carry product liability insurance. There's 3 things happening when you're cooking all the spices. Anybody can take your spices and figure out what's in them and make it. You could be somewhere, somebody from McCormick could walk by here and pick it up and say, oh, this is something different. Girl, they got on the market next week. Cookies, same thing with cookies. So what you want to do is you don't want to expose yourself to people until you expose to the right person. So if you give me something to eat and I go home and eat and get sick, girl, I got sick off your product. If I buy it from you and get sick, I can sue you. Everybody in the retail store has to have product liability insurance. I have to carry $4 million. So or like I was out walking the other day and my girlfriend said, girl, this girl make the best cakes in the whole wide world. So she gave me this cake. And it was pretty good, it sounded like it was pretty good. And I'm saying to myself, now, if I wanted to give this cake to my girlfriend, Stephanie Hart, who Brown Sugar Bakery, she can make it up, right? But if I bought a cake from Stephanie and got sick, I could sue her. No, I couldn't. If I could sue Stephanie, but she got liability insurance. If this lady made me sick, I could put out of business. So you have to be very, very careful when you giving somebody something. Now, if you give it to them, it's different. When you sell it, you got to be very, very careful. You got to understand if they're allergic to something. So that's another reason why at some point you need to stop what you're doing and do it the right way. Because you could have that, just imagine if you had that formulated, because what is the name of it, 7-Eleven? 7-Even. Have you branded that? Have you trademarked that name? You need to trademark because someone can take that name from you. So you trademark your name, which means it's yours, and then you go to a co-packer, have them make it up, figure out how many cases, and then get your minority certificate, woman minority certificate, man minority certificate, get all your business plans together, get your cards and go to the neighborhood store and sell it to them. Why is you trying to sell it by yourself? Sell it to them and then go get some more. And then go to another store and sell it. You see what I'm saying? Eventually you got enough sales to say, well, let me walk into Jules and see if they might put you in the stores in the African-American community. I could get you in Jules. So that's what you have to do. Stop working in your business because I'm telling y'all, it's too hard. It's too hard. It's like being on a treadmill, girl, trying to go somewhere. You ain't gonna never move. You gotta get up and walk, girl. See them right there? If you look at her, in 5 minutes, she's gonna be over there. If you was on a treadmill, she'd still be there. That's what y'all doing. They moving product, y'all moving nothing. Because you sitting here. You gotta move it. I'm telling y'all, if I ain't said nothing else, listen, let me say this. So this morning, I went out last night with my daughters, took her to my 3 daughters' winter birthday, and I had 1 lemon drop, I don't drink. And I told my girls, oh my God, I had to speak in the morning. I said, I'm not gonna be able to do it. I'm drunk. Take me home. Oh my God. And then I got this morning, I was thinking, you know what? God said, get up. Get up, show up, Because somebody out here going to near what you say. And this is not, if you've heard me speak, this is not how I speak. But God gave me another assignment. The last time I spoke for Pastor Winston, when I was in Ohio, I couldn't speak. Well, did you see that? I got from the podium, I couldn't even speak. I called Pastor, said, Pastor, I got a new assignment. God said, the 38-year-old story, stop telling it, because you're tired of hearing it. I'm tired of hearing it. I'm tired of saying it. Now it's about you all. It's about what have I gained in my knowledge that I can give to you so you can get where you're supposed to go. And that's what I'm here for, to let you know where you want to go. This is what I can help you do. And you got to get out your comfort zone. Stop sitting around, spending 8 hours waiting for somebody to buy a coat when you need to work on your business so you get 10,000 people to buy a coat. You know what I'm saying? That's what you need to be doing, working on your business plan, working on your life, working on where you want to be in 10 or 15 years. When I started 38 years ago, I knew I was going to be a millionaire standing somewhere in a barber-based coat, baby. I knew I was going to be. And that's what y'all need to be doing. You know what I'm saying? That's what you need to be doing. Plan your stuff. Write what you want. Claim it. Ask God to give it to you. You already got a little footprint in it. Might as well step all in it. Like, why you gonna tiptoeing around? I'm standing selling spices, and girl, I'm over here. No, you should be somewhere in your office, starting a business plan, figure out where a co-packer is, get you somebody to make that stuff up and take it to Target. That's what you need to be doing. That's what you need to be doing. So I think my time is up.
Yeah, it's okay. We have, it is, but we did have one more person who asked.
Look,
Go ahead.
I can talk to 12, but then I need to go and take these clothes out, put some jogging pants.
Okay.
Because I need to be moving like they moving.
Good morning. My name is Cameron. I'm a massage therapist. My company is Honeybee Beauty. And my question is, I feel like I'm working in my business a lot because of the nature of it, because I have to work on people. But I was wondering, do you have any advice for service-based businesses where, you know, we are our business to a certain degree?
Let me tell you something. Massage envy is, you think he massaging somebody? See, we got to get out of that. We got to get out of that. I have to touch and I have to be the person. You got to get out of that. You have the expertise to teach people to run your business. That's what God gave you, the expertise for you to teach, but you not to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because massage envy, that started with a thought. It could be a massage lady, like, I need to have some help. And now they running a company. So even though you feel you the best at it, you see what I'm saying? You need to take your expertise and start. What's your company's name? Honeybee Beauty. You need to brand Honeybee Beauty. So Honeybee Beauty could be a bunch of stuff. It could be a massage. You could be doing lashes. You could be doing facials. See, this is what we have to do. This is what we have to do. We have to look as far as you can see. Because if you shoot for what they say, the moon, if you fall, you'll be amongst. If you just looking at the one grass or whatever, if you cut grass, I have a young guy that used to cut my grass for me. His name was Jay. And Jay used to cut my grass every Saturday. And he would go home. And he would come back. And he would go home. I sat him down. I said, you need to become a landscaping business. And I told him how to do it. He got Jay's landscaping. He cutting grass. The boy making a lot of money, and he did not even think about and he hired people, and he's teaching people how to cut grass, how to service your clients. It's a business. I said, Jay, write down, make appointments. So with you, you cannot ever make the money doing it yourself that you could do if you had 10, 100 people doing it for you. Just work on your business and become that business, that Afro-American girl that has this massage and da-da-da-da-da. That's what you need to work on. Because you can't, I'm telling you over and over, you cannot make money in your business. You got to be on top of it. And you cannot make money if you're working. You can't, no one make, if you work a job and you make, say, $80,000 a year, $100,000 a year, let's say making $100,000 a year. That's your limit. You can't buy no $1 million house. You can't buy no Tesla. You can't go to Paris because you're limited by the money you make. Once you take that off of you and become that person that is not limited to the money they make because they're working on a business to grow a business, then you can afford your lifestyle. A job is not going to afford you ever a lifestyle. Never. Never. I tell people, and that's why I'm telling you about crowds. You bring people come to these because everybody, it's a lot of, if this is all full, if some of these people behind you, girl, I ain't quitting my job. Oh, no. I think I'm talking to people who need to hear this. Because if you think about it, you are defined by the job you have. If you're a mailman, I don't call my mailman, hey, Mr. Johnson. I call him the mailman. The mailman that my dog barks at every day. That's how I define him. But if I go into, might not be a good example because the post office, but say for instance, like even with me, when I walk in the store and say I'm selling syrup, I'm not selling that doing a demo. You know what I'm saying? I'm there shopping, really. I just happen to be in. I'm happy to be here. I can go to any strap. When y'all go to the store, look, any store you go to, I'm on the shelf. You ain't gonna miss me. If you go to Pete's, I'm on the shelf. If you go to Strax, I'm on the shelf. I'm on the shelf in Target. I'm on the shelf in Myers. I'm on the shelf in Jew's. I'm on the shelf in Mariano's. If you go to Florida, I'm in Publix. If you go to Atlanta, I'm in Kroger. And how I got that? By working on my business. Talking to them retailers, sending them product, understanding my margins. When they ask me, well, how much is this? I would know this is how much I have to make. Understanding transportation, understanding employees. This is what you have to learn how to do. And once you do that, God's gonna give you, it's gonna like zoom. Once you learn, God says, oh, you got it now. He ain't gonna give it to you until you get it. He ain't gonna set you up for failure. He let you do that yourself. Okay? Okay, I don't want to take up any more time. Everybody wants to shop. I am so glad I came. I was reluctant. I don't have no hangover, but I'm glad I came. Okay?
Give her a hand, everybody. Dr. Michele Hoskins. Told y'all she was going to be amazing. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.